Blame Truth here, your resident prophet and soothsayer, and I am here to do it again in this video today. You see, I have been calling what's been happening to Call of Duty well before it's actually happened, and my accuracy is about 100%. I don't think it's perfect, but it's close. It's pretty damn close. And, I'm not an actual prophet. I'm not a soothsayer. I can't see the future. I just have a working brain, and I've been playing video games and Call of Duty longer than a lot of people that currently play the games have been alive. Yeah, it's true. It's damn true. You know what? Let me just cut to the chase here. First and foremost, I keep asking, where's my flowers? Where's my apologies for everyone that doubted me or talked shit or whatever? Truth be told, I'm not really going to get them. So I'm just going to ask you guys to like this video, because if you like it, it gets put into the algorithm and gets shown to many more people. And maybe, just maybe, we can inform even more people, even the rats on the ship that is actively sinking. We can even inform them to stop wasting your time on this dying franchise that views you as nothing more than a piggy bank, and hop off before things get even worse. What am I talking about? Well, let's just get right on into the meat and potatoes, because, I got a lot I want to get off my chest. All right? Let's get on into it here. I'm sure you guys have heard the news. Maybe you haven't, maybe you have, but I'm just going to repeat it a little bit here and show you what's been happening. Modern Warzone says this on Twitter, and this comes after Charlie Intel saying that Warzone is putting all their chips, and Call of Duty's putting all their chips in one basket, hoping that Verdansk somehow saves the dying player base. Newsflash, it will not. We'll get more into that prediction in a bit, though. But Modern Warzone says this: breaking, there may not be a Warzone 3 if Verdansk fails to retain current and returning players, according to a new report from the Ghost of Hope. Warzone could actually die. And if you think this is just noise, I have gotten some intel personally from Ghost of Hope before. The man does not miss. He has legitimate sources on the inside. Charlie Intel said something similar about the player counts just being astronomically low, and they're really hoping Verdansk rights the ship. But I mean, it's clear as day to anyone with a brain that it will not. My buddy Nero and other content creators and even commenters have said they need to remove SBMM. That's the main issue causing people to leave in droves. And I somewhat agree with that, but even if they took out skill-based matchmaking, engagement-optimized matchmaking, whatever, the series is too far gone for that to work. The series is so far fucking down that it's playing limbo with Satan in hell. Removing engagement-optimized matchmaking would be like a bandage on a severed limb. It is just one of many issues with this franchise right now. And while we're on the topic, let's get back into Verdansk. Hoping that Verdansk saves this is so out of touch, man. Hall & Oates would be playing every single day at Activision HQ, man. It would. It's so out of touch. Unbelievably out of touch. Let me just try to break down all of the problems, and forgive me because I have not played a single match of Black Ops 6. I think the last time I touched that turd was like December. So I'm a little rusty, and I kind of had to go back and look at my my video that I made when the game first came out saying it's the worst Call of Duty yet, do not buy it. But I have a lot of examples there, and not much has changed. In fact, most things have just gotten worse since then, okay? Here's the thing. At its core, Call of Duty has completely and utterly lost its identity. The identity of what this game and franchise once was jumped out of the back of the truck bed hundreds, if not thousands of miles ago on this road trip through the past 20 odd years of Call of Duty Shoot-A-Man. All right, it has. It's jumped out and no one knows where it's at. Is it dead on the side of the road? Is it hobbling around with a broken leg somewhere in Idaho? Who knows? No one does. They have completely lost the plot. The games are soulless dreck that exist as a parody. It's a literal parody of what we used to have not even a decade ago. Literally, Black Ops 3, for example. I mean, again, Black Ops 3, I think a lot of people tout that as the last true good Call of Duty, and I would not really disagree with that. I thought Black Ops 4 was also good, multiplayer-wise and Battle Royale-wise, honestly, but basically, Black Ops 3 or Black Ops 4 for many, many people were the last two Call of Duties that knew what the fuck they were. Ever since then, it's been some amalgamation of Fortnite and whatever's popular and Snoop Dogg and rainbow unicorn farts and bad matchmaking and terrible servers and dumb decisions that don't cohesively carry on year to year, throwing shit at a wall because they're out of ideas, nostalgia baiting, broken promises, gaslighting, lying, and the store. The store is the one constant. You name it, this series has thrown shit at the wall and tried it. And it's embarrassing. There is no identity. There is no soul. There is no proper development team. I'm sorry, and this is going to get me some hot water, I'm sure, but the dev teams are retards. There's a reason that Vonderhaar and Jason Blundell and Tony Flame and all of these other amazing Call of Duty devs, Robert Bowling, Mark Rubin, there's a reason all of these guys are not there with the series anymore. It's because it is terrible. They saw the writing on the wall. They knew exactly where it was going. They jumped ship, and the games now, I mean, they may as well be made by AI. Surprise, surprise, they mostly are. I covered this just recently. They had to admit with Steam's policy that the game is made with AI. A lot of it. Well, some of it, but that's very vague, so I'm just going to say a lot of it. It could be 99% of the game for all we know, because even when they get caught, they can't be honest with us. And that's another thing where they've really fucking screwed the pooch, all right? They refuse to be upfront with us. They refuse to be truthful with us. They gaslight us. They lie to us. Even if they removed engagement optimized matchmaking, and tell me, please, viewer, tell me when I'm telling lies here, okay? Even if they removed engagement optimized matchmaking, skill-based matchmaking, whatever, and it was gone, it was done, it was not there, do you honestly think people would even believe them? No, they wouldn't. There would be rumors that it's still there. There would be rumors that they were testing it on the back end, because we know for a fact they use us as guinea pigs in their little matchmaking experiments, and it's there right like on the blog post where they covered the matchmaking process. They say sometimes they turn it off and we don't know when. Sometimes they tweak it. Sometimes they change it. Sometimes you are a literal test subject. You're not a someone playing a video game. You are a lab rat. You are a lab rat who they tried to get to open up your little wallet and give them some cheese. In the literal sense, I mean, cheese is money, but you get what I'm saying. They could take out this matchmaking system, and you know for a fact, absolutely no one would buy it. They've lost our trust. There is no trust. There's no, like, figurehead even. There's no one that resembles a human being that is talking to us from the Call of Duty dev teams. But I digress. Another big problem is the yearly release cycle. They ran out of fresh, new ideas ages ago. They really did. I think the last fresh, new idea that they had that was good and pretty much universally, for the most part, as much as you can with Call of Duty, universally acclaimed was probably Black Ops 4 Blackout, if I'm really thinking about it. I mean, even Black Ops 3, as much as I love that game, a lot of people did not like the jetpacks and stuff like that. So the point is, though, is that they ran out of ideas long ago. This whole Omni movement thing in Black Ops 6, it's a fail. It's a colossal fail. It's just a worse version of the jetpack era CODs. As far as movement goes, it truly is. I mean, it plays worse than Black Ops 3 did. It feels clunky. It feels unnatural. It doesn't feel right. And the fact that they shoehorned in Tac Sprint with this and just released this perk to kind of fix that. I mean, it's just a fucking mess. They don't know what they're doing. They throw shit at the wall, and then when it fails, they default back to recycling and nostalgia. The maps, for example, in Black Ops 6, the multiplayer maps are the worst thing we've ever seen. The zombies maps are pretty good, But I just, me personally, I'm not into zombies. It feels just old. I've been playing it since World at War. It's the same basic kind of concept. And maybe if it's not broke, don't fix it, or maybe just kind of progress it a little bit. But this war zonification of zombies since Black Ops Cold War, I personally am not a fan of. I don't like that innovation. I find it relatively boring and monotonous, if I'm being completely honest. It's very, very samey, grindy. I'm just not really into it. I don't see how they could like come back from this, because everything I've said is a fundamental flaw from the core of the game and what it's become. And they've doubled down on this. They've doubled down on the matchmaking. They've doubled down on the stupid dev teams that care more about what color someone is or what sex they identify as, rather than their talent and merit and experience and knowing what makes a fun game and stuff like that. They have doubled down on bad decisions. They've doubled down on the horrible servers, which, by the way, that's something else. The netcode and the servers are worse than they were 10 years ago. They're worse than they were on the Xbox 360 era, where some dude's Xbox was the host on his home network while his dad downloaded Jenna Jameson porn in the other room. You know, like, it's worse than that. Genuinely, I have been here since 2007. Do not tell me it's just me remembering it wrong or whatever. No, it's literally worse. I don't know. I don't know what needs to be done. I don't know if all of these devs need to be sacked and they just need to start from the ground up. I don't know if the yearly release cycle needs to be axed entirely. I think that's a good step in the right direction. I don't know if SBMM going the way of the dodo is the right call, even, because we won't believe it. And I don't know if anything they tell us will even be believed, because they've been caught lying so fucking long. Oh, how could I forget the cheating problem, which has been a problem for years now. Since Warzone came out, it hasn't gotten any better. It will not get any better. I don't know why this super rich company will not invest in a proper anti-cheat. I don't know why other games don't have this problem. Yeah, I run into cheaters sometimes on Dead by Daylight, for example, but like, it's been, I don't know, maybe 5 ever in like 2,000 hours of playtime. Like, seriously, like, maybe I can count them on like 2 hands probably. No excuse. They have infinite money. No excuse. Everything I said just now would have to be implemented immediately, all in one go. You'd have to stop with the yearly releases. You'd have to stop, I don't know, Warzone entirely and go back to your roots. You'd have to stop with the unicorn anime dildo virgin skins in the store. You'd have to stop treating your customers like piggy banks and maybe let us earn all this stuff through, you know, actually playing the game. You'd have to innovate new, fresh, good ideas. You'd have to make this game kind of like what XDefiant was trying to do, where it's an arena shooter. They focus on the arena aspect of it, sort of like Call of Duty Online, I think it was called, which was a China-only thing that they eventually shut down, or maybe even COD Mobile. You'd have to do something like that on console. That's the only way forward at this point. Every single year, you can still release maybe a campaign, although if I'm being completely honest, what is there left to do with the campaigns? The Call of Duty campaigns, man, I checked out of that shit ages ago. What is there new to do, you know? Why isn't Call of Duty just a multiplayer, zombies, and then maybe Warzone hub? And all 3 of those aspects just get updated with new content, you know, year after year, month after month, etc., season after season. Why do we continue to start over? I'll tell you why. It's all in the name of profit. They want to sell you a $70 quote-unquote new game every single year, riddled with bugs and issues, and then you're the beta testers. But by the time the next Call of Duty game comes out, the one that you've been playing all year is finally fixed, and it's just this endless cycle of garbage tied into Warzone, which doesn't make any sense because Warzone is not multiplayer. Multiplayer is not Warzone. Why are the two remotely in the same ballpark as far as changes go? It's just beyond saving. You would have to do a cleanse. You would have to flood this motherfucker like it's a biblical story involving Noah and an ark. Okay, instead of Noah and an ark, it's Joe Secott and a bunch of doors. Anyway, the point is that all I've said is just, I mean, there's more I'm missing, is the crazy part. There's more I'm missing. But that would be a good start. Maybe someone from the Call of Duty team that's not a complete bot that would talk to us. Maybe the content creators, which, by the way, I'm just going to come out and say it. Most of the content creators for Call of Duty, I do not respect. I do not trust. I do not like. I think they are liars. I think they are deceivers. I think they are cheats. I think they are ripoffs. I don't trust them. I don't want to interact with them. There's a reason why I roll solo, and the few people I do name drop, I've known for a long time. Anyway, that would be a start. But let's just, in closing here, let's see how down bad Call of Duty actually is. They're thinking about canceling Warzone. And honestly, I think this is my prediction here to kind of tie in with the title. I think they're going to cancel the yearly releases too. I don't see how they compete with GTA 6 this year with their yearly release. I don't. I seriously don't know what they're going to do after Verdansk fails, because it definitely will, but just releasing this like Black Ops 6.5 DLC when GTA 6 is going to drop, it's going to be absolutely embarrassing for them. Their stock is going to plummet because when they release the numbers to their shareholders, it's going to be much lower after the big Microsoft acquisition, no less. Like, what are they going to do? They have to do something, and it goes beyond just removing skill-based matchmaking. It goes beyond just nostalgia baiting. They have to cleanse this dirty, filthy series, this dirty, filthy franchise, and start from the ground up with people that were there from the start that know what they're doing. Call of Duty, Activision, Microsoft. My business email is right there. They'll never do this. They're too proud. But everything I said in this video, no one with a working brain that's played this franchise for any amount of time that's a super fan of this franchise is going to disagree with what I said. Absolutely no one would disagree with what I have said in this video. And if you're still here, again, you didn't do it at the start. Like this video, please. Get this out there so people can see it. This needs saving. Contrary to popular belief, I do not want to see Call of Duty die. Maybe I want to see Warzone die, but I don't want to see the OG Call of Duty arcade shooter that I love and I've played and I've dedicated my life to for nearly 2 decades at this point. I don't want to see that die. You're crazy if you think I want to see that. What I want to see, and every single time I make a video, this is what I want to see. I want to see them do better. I want to see them get their head out of their asses. I want to see them hire competent people that know what they're doing. I want to see true leadership, unwavering, steadfast leadership. Seriously, let's take a look at the current player count as of today. 53,000 players on average on Steam, record lows every single day. I keep thinking it's going to stop dipping, and it does not, okay? Record lows. Record lows. For all those that say, like, it's just Steam charts, it doesn't matter. This is the only metric we can track, for one. But for two, we have 2 big Call of Duty news sources saying that the player count is in trouble. Verdansk has to save the game, or Warzone may be canceled. Support may be pulled from Warzone. The last time I heard this, by the way, was when Warzone 2 came out and was a colossal failure and lost so many players. Like, they were down bad at this point in time, okay? Let's actually look at the screenshot right here. January 2023, I want you to look at this. This in particular. This is where things really started to get ugly and they started worrying. 102,000 average players. That's nearly double. That's nearly double where we are at now on Steam charts. And that's with more games in the Call of Duty HQ, by the way. This isn't just multiplayer. This is not just Warzone. This is Black Ops 6 in all its modes. This is Modern Warfare 2 in all its modes. This is Modern Warfare 3 in all its modes. This is Warzone in all its modes. They are trying so hard to stick everything in this stupid HQ to pump their deflated numbers up, but even that's not working now. If we take a look at the player count, and it did leak, it's from a museum in Spain, a video game museum in Spain. I think it's like OXO Museum or something like that. In January 2023, they had a live view of the player count at the time, okay? And Tom Henderson made this article on Insider Gaming, but basically, 424,000 people were playing Warzone 2, and 184,000 people were playing Modern Warfare 2 at the time. If we just do some deductive reasoning and some quick math here, those numbers aren't great, by the way, but roughly 600,000 players online at that point in time. If we take that and we half it with the modern player count of like around 50,000, I mean, we got roughly 300,000 players across all platforms right now. For everything, for all of these games. When you take into account how many like copies of Black Ops 6 sold, just as an example, that is not a good number. Just for reference here, 2 years after it came out, Black Ops 2, just multiplayer, no other mode, on one platform, the Xbox 360, 2 years after it came out, had this player count. COD is down astronomically bad. If you don't believe me, I mean, the proof is in the pudding here, okay? If you want to go back really far and look at a game when it was new, like Black Ops 1, I recall logging on to Xbox 360 multiplayer or whatever on Black Ops 1, and I recall seeing the players online well over 1 million. Well over 1 million. If anyone played Black Ops 1 back in the day, you can back me up, but over 1 million people were playing online, and throughout the year, that number never really dipped below like 500,000, by the way, until the next Call of Duty came out. I mean, these games would retain players like no other, and they didn't use manipulative matchmaking. It didn't have a store. It didn't have any of that stuff. It was just a good game, you know? And back then, the yearly releases made sense because they would innovate and improve year after year. I mean, going from Black Ops 1 to Black Ops 2, just as an example, was such a leap. It truly was such a leap. Like, these guys' sequels were on fire, and having 3 dev teams putting out a sequel when they had fresh ideas and were innovating and were at their best was a great time to be a Call of Duty fan. That's when the yearly releases worked. They no longer work. They are there simply to make money, and it shows. The dev teams do not have the talent to innovate and constantly bring these amazing AAA experiences to us anymore. It doesn't work. They fool us by selling the game to us, but no one stays to play because the games suck. Every single problem I listed here in this video is why everyone has left. It has nothing to do with content. You can bring back Verdansk. You can bring back a bunch of Black Ops 2 maps, Black Ops 1 maps, and throw them into multiplayer. It's not going to change a damn thing. The core of the game is broken. This is like taking your beater into Pimp My Ride and then Exhibit, you know, puts PSPs in your rims and blings out your rear view mirror with diamonds or whatever, but under the hood you still got an engine with like 400,000 miles on it that's leaking oil and the timing belt's about to snap off. You need you need to fix the core issues. Everything I said in this video, and you know I'm right. And again, I hate to keep repeating myself like this. People need to see this because I am right, and I have been right. This franchise this year is going to get canceled. Mark my words, something is going to change. Either Warzone stops receiving support altogether, or they flat out try to like nostalgia bait us with some kind of Black Ops 2 remaster this year or something. They've already canned the planned Warzone map Avalon, by the way, for Verdansk, so who knows how much money they've wasted there. That's how desperate they are. I mean, guys, we're going to see some sort of cleansing this year. Mark my words. GTA 6 is going to push Call of Duty further down. And it's just a shame. It's just a shame that Ubisoft, in their stupidity, you know, dropped the ball with XDefiant, because XDefiant would be killing it right now. It truly would. I mean, COD without competition has killed itself. I'm sick of just it being the only FPS arcade shooter in town. I personally have nothing to play, really. I play a little bit of DBD, and that's it. I mean, guys, for me personally, I know a lot of people are in the same boat. They've switched to single-player games. I mean, let me ask you guys in closing here, are you still even playing Call of Duty? Are you still even playing the game? Chances are, if you're here watching this, probably not. Either way, though. Hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Subscribe, rate this video, comment below, and I'll catch you on the next one. Have a good one. Peace.